Alright, this is gonna be my movie review for Wicked. This was a fantastic movie. I had a great time watching it. And what's crazy is that when the first trailers dropped, I was like, ooh, I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm gonna watch this in theaters. But then today, I went and I was pleasantly surprised. It's been getting fantastic reviews. Everyone that I know that has seen it has said fantastic things about it. So I was like, you know what? I gotta check it out for myself. And I was not disappointed. This is probably one of the best movies I've seen this year. The movie is obviously based off of the Wicked musical that I've actually seen in New York City about 10 years ago. So I vaguely remember the story and some of the songs and all that, but wow, like I was blown away. Some of these songs, man, they are just so good. And we have two fantastic singers singing the main songs of this musical. But anyways, guys, this movie, it's basically all about the Wicked Witch of the West, basically like her origin story, which I've always liked, and I thought they did it very well in this film. Cynthia Erivo does a fantastic job as Elphaba. She absolutely crushed it, and then Ariana Grande as well. She surprised me. Her singing was great. She was very funny, very charming, very charismatic, just very likable and entertaining to watch on screen. I also thought Cynthia and Ariana had really great chemistry with each other, and that really made the movie just super enjoyable. I really liked the look of the movie, the pacing worked for me, and it was actually a really funny movie. Not to the point where I would say this is like a comedy by any means, but there was definitely, maybe 5, 6, 7 times throughout the movie that I was chuckling. Mostly from Ariana Grande. She really surprised me with how funny she could be. So yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. It's all about the friendship of Glinda and the Wicked Witch and how they were friends and then turned into enemies. And this is actually part 1. Part 2 is coming out next year in 2025, and I think the numbers on that movie is going to be insane because this movie already is breaking records. It's doing really well at the box office, and I think it's going to be a box office juggernaut. And I can see why. It's just a really enjoyable film. I think pretty much anyone would like it. If you're a fan of musicals, you'll like it. If you like The Wizard of Oz or even the Wicked musical, then you're obviously going to like this. But now let's talk about some negatives, because obviously it's not a perfect movie. No movie really is. My first negative, I would say, is that there was just too many songs. Like, it just didn't give the movie a lot of time to breathe, because every single scene, it was like song, and I get it, it's a musical, but I think they could have cut back maybe on a couple of songs, and I think the flow of the film would have been a little bit better. I would also say that not a lot of the songs are really memorable. Like, the two that stood out to me is the popular song, which is directly from the musical, and then the final song. I don't know exactly what it was called, but I really liked it. It gave me goosebumps towards the end of the movie, and I thought it was great. Another negative I had was that some of the shots in this film are super CGI heavy, and it really pulls you out of the film. But then there's other shots that look really good, so it's not like it was just a consistent, terrible image that I was looking at by any means. No, it was just a few shots here and there. And I get it, this is a magical and mystical world. It's very difficult to make it look like real. But it is a visually stunning movie, especially towards the end. There was some really great shots of Elphaba, like, flying in the air and all that. It looked really good. The set design, costume design, everything looked great. It was just a couple of shots here and there that were poor. Then I would say this film is a little bit predictable. I could kind of guess exactly what was going to happen. They didn't really take any risks away from the musical. It was pretty much like beat for beat from what I can remember. Not a one-to-one copy by any means, but it was just predictable. I thought they would add maybe a couple of things that was a little bit different to keep it fresh. Then I would say the romance between Elphaba and another character just kind of came out of nowhere. And I think that could have been fleshed out a little bit more. And then my last negative, I would say, is that the script was fine. It was good. It was serviceable, but I don't think it was amazing. Whenever I watch a movie with a fantastic script, there's a bunch of lines that stick out to me that I remember. And with this movie, there's not really any lines that, captured my attention and made me, burn that into my memory by any means. And like I said, it was fine, it was serviceable, I just think it could have been a little bit better. And there's one more negative. This is a complaint. It could just be my hearing or something, I don't know. But there was a few lines in the movie where some characters say something and I just could not understand or hear what they actually said. And no, it's not because my theater was full and people were clapping and screaming or whatever. It was just hard for me to hear. I don't know if it was an audio issue. I don't know if you guys have the same issue with this movie. But there was at least a couple of scenes where I was like, I have no idea what the character just said. So there are my positives and negatives for Wicked. I thought this movie was really, really great. I know I said a lot of negatives, but honestly, like, I had to really nitpick those because this movie was a really, really good time. It's a great musical. I think it just broke the record for, like, best box office opening weekend ever for a musical, and I can see why. Now, with that being said, I am going to be giving Wicked an 8 out of 10. I think it's a really, really great time at the theater. If you're a fan of The Wizard of Oz or the Wicked musical, definitely go check this out. And even if you're not, I think you're still going to have a good time watching this. It's very entertaining, the singing is top notch, the visuals are really good, and our two co-leads are really, really great in their roles. But that's my thoughts on the film. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments.